Welcome to the Lantern's Tale. Let me guide you into tonight's chilling true story. Christmas Eve, 1945. In the quiet town of Fayetteville, West Virginia, 5 children vanished in a blaze that devoured their home. No bodies, no remains. A mystery that has haunted generations. George and Jenny Sodder, Italian immigrants, built a warm life with their 10 children. That night, the house was alive with laughter and the glow of a Christmas tree. As midnight approached, 5 of the children, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, asked to stay up late. Their parents agreed, trusting them to lock the doors when done. George and Jenny went to bed, unaware that soon everything would change. At 1 a.m., Jenny woke to the phone ringing. A woman she didn't know was on the line, laughing softly. In the background, voices and clinking glasses. "Is this the Sodder residence?" she asked. Jenny said yes. The woman laughed again and hung up. Jenny felt uneasy. She noticed the living room lights still on, curtains open, front door ajar, but she returned to bed, thinking little of it. Moments later, she heard a loud thud on the roof. Something rolled, then crashed to the ground. Then, the crackle of flames. The house was on fire. George and Jenny rushed to save their children. 4, Marion, Sylvia, John, and George Jr., escaped. But the other 5 were missing upstairs. George smashed a window with his bare hands, cutting himself badly. He tried to climb the house but was forced back by the heat. He ran for the family ladder, always kept nearby. It was gone. He tried to move his coal trucks to the window, but neither would start, though both worked the day before. The phone line was dead. Neighbors ran to call the fire department, but no one answered. By the time firefighters arrived, hours had passed. The home was reduced to ash. Officials insisted the children died in the blaze, bodies burned to nothing. But George and Jenny refused to believe it. Fires don't burn hot enough to destroy bones completely. They searched the rubble. No bones, no teeth, nothing. A fire chief quietly admitted he'd never seen a blaze that left no trace of remains. Jenny wrote to a crematorium, asking if it was possible for a house fire to fully destroy a body. They said no, it would take much higher temperatures, sustained for hours. The weeks before the fire were filled with strange events. A man had come to the house, warning George that his home would go up in smoke and his children would be destroyed. Another man, trying to sell life insurance, threatened, "Your house will burn, and your children will pay for your words against Mussolini." George was a vocal critic of Mussolini, and some believed the fire was an act of revenge. On the night of the fire, a driver said he saw balls of fire thrown at the Sodder house. Another neighbor saw a man watching from the shadows. Days later, the family found a strange object in the yard, like a small green grenade, cracked and blackened. A visiting soldier said it looked like an incendiary device. Later, a telephone operator admitted the line hadn't burned, it had been cut. Leads kept coming. A bus driver said he saw children matching the Sodder kids' descriptions in a car. A waitress swore she served breakfast to 5 children who looked just like them, traveling with 2 men who spoke in hushed voices. The family chased every lead. They hired detectives, posted flyers, and even traveled to New York when someone claimed Martha was in a convent. But the nuns turned them away. In 1968, Jenny received a photo in the mail, no return address, a young man in his 20s, dark hair, solemn eyes. On the back, Louis Sodder, "I love Brother Frankie, Lil Boys, a 90132 or 35. Was it their missing son? Or a cruel joke? The Sodders kept a billboard along Route 16 for decades, pleading for answers. No one ever came forward. George died in 1969, never knowing what happened. Jenny wore black for the rest of her life. Today, the forest has reclaimed the spot where the Sodder home once stood. But the mystery endures. 5 children vanished without a trace. Was it a fire that turned them to ash, or something darker that stole them away? Some say the answers are buried in that West Virginia hill. Others whisper the children lived on, hidden from the world. But for the Sodder family, and those who remember, this is a story that refuses to die, flickering like a candle in the darkness, waiting to be told. One last time. Thank you for listening to The Lantern's Tale. If you enjoyed this true story, join us next time. If you dare.